Hey crew, welcome back to the Happily Living podcast. I'm Gabrielle, and if you've been around here for a while, you know this space is all about conscious living with a whole lot of grace. We're not about extremes or guilt trips. We're about reconnecting to nature, to ourselves, and to what really matters so we can live fuller, healthier lives that actually feel good. Today's episode is called The Shift, Part 2. We discuss how we can find the beautiful night sky in our day-to-day by making simple switches as a community. We discuss how we can actually save so much money by skipping pest control and learning about our environment, and little destructive habits can be switched into benefiting positive impacts on our planet as individuals. So let's get into it, yeah? Spring is a transitional season. We discussed this in the last episode, and not only are we coming out of the winter time and defrosting, but so are so many species and animals around us. I want to talk about our relationship with bugs, the idea of awareness over fear. How many times have you killed a bug on sight? Probably more than you can count. But why? Much of our fear around insects is not only survival-based, but often irrational. And we're taught to be afraid, to assume danger. Like when I was growing up, my dad, and this was in a loving, joking way, but it does affect you, right? When there were spiders around, I was deeply afraid, like could not sleep in that room no matter if it was killed or not, because I would always have my mouth open when I was sleeping as a kid. And he would tell me, you better shut your mouth while you're sleeping because they're going to crawl in there and nest. Yes, is that a great thing to tell your kid? Probably not. Was that something that definitely affected my relationship with bugs? Absolutely. But the truth, most bugs in our house are harmless. Not all, sure. You want to be mindful of ticks or carpenter ants, or even brown recluses if you're in the southern areas. But for the majority, it's just a spider, a silverfish, or a beetle trying to find shelter and survive. And a lot of the times, many people are either grossed out, do not like anything that crawls, or don't want to share any space. And I get it, right? I've been there at some point. Ben is still trying to get a little bit more situated with how I live on that aspect, because he'll just instantly try to kill something, right? You see a bug, just kill it, get rid of it. A lot of the times people have pest control companies, and these can be like $200 a month, right? That adds up. So yes, I've had my fair share of spiders, especially after canceling our pest control service. And yeah, sometimes I question that choice, but other times I realize how human it is to assume every spider is out to get me, but they could care less about you. We're just coexisting in the same space. So there's an incredible article called Common House Bugs by Prevention Magazine. I'll have linked in the show notes. And it shows how many bugs we fear are actually harmless. It helps shift my perspective a little bit, because I feel like if I know what is harmless and what isn't, I have more control over it's worth being fearful, or if I can just let it be and it's not going to take over my house, right? At the end of the day, they want nothing to do with you, just like sharks. And in July, this is Shark Week driven, but what I want to resonate with you is that when you choose compassion over convenience, you are actively building a life of purpose and impact. And it may be difficult, it may be challenging. Are you likely to take a spider that was on the back of your headrest at the dentist office and get out of the chair in front of people and let it outside? Probably not. Is that something I did? Yes, it was. But you are able to take a second, not just kill something right out the gate just because it's there. Maybe it's a sign to slow down, right? Just to pause whatever you're doing. If you're working and you're like, okay, there's a bug right here. Grab a cup, grab a piece of paper, take it outside, and it's like helping you walk away from your work for a moment. It's helping you get your blood moving in your body when you've been sitting down for so long. Like, there's bigger picture things that it actually provides. And most of the time, these bugs, whether they're scary or not, actually benefit you. So spiders get rid of the mosquitoes that carry a bunch of diseases that in fact have longer seasons because of climate change and the warming of temperatures. And so there's more opportunities for diseases to carry into other regions affecting human beings. So it's a health risk. So spiders actually help us. Ladybugs are very helpful when it comes to a bunch of houseplant bugs that'll kill your plants. Those are really great. I've had a friend tell me how her mom has plants all in her house and she actually buys ladybugs to control all the different bugs that will kill her houseplants, if you know what I mean, if you're a houseplant connoisseur. And then she also has spiders to help control that ladybug population and anything else that gets into the house. So guys, save your money. Don't try to kill things right out the gate. If you're like, I don't want to kill it, but I'm very fearful, have someone else do it for you. And that's okay. At the end of the day, it's not like they're just permanently residing in your home, unless that's mice. Take precautions with mice, because we had an issue with that. I don't know if you guys listened to that. Most of you have, but if you're new to this, we had issues. Okay. How many times have you guys heard me say, nothing worth it is ever easy? A ton. Not relationships, not caring for a pet, not life. And that includes choosing to coexist with your environment. That glow you see in the sky at night, that's light pollution. And it affects our sleep, our circadian rhythms, and even migratory birds and insects. It's a reminder that we're not disconnected from the environment. We are the environment. We usually think about pollution in terms of plastics or water, but artificial light, especially at night, is its own kind of toxic. It's everywhere. And y'all, I love pitch black. I am meant to be a bat in a cave. I really am. And I take it like wholeheartedly, a badge of honor. It's what we're meant to be around. That blue-white glare from street lights, floodlights, LED signs, they drive me nuts. Like coming home, if I'm working at night, if I'm doing anything out and I'm coming back at night. Yes, I hate when there's roads that don't have lights, right? Because that's not a solution, is to not have lights, not have street lights. But we don't need these freaking floodlights and all these LED lights. It literally affects our sleep, our hormones, our wildlife, even our mental health, okay? So a lot of people think of in terms of their benefits, right? And that's why I bring together both, because if it affects the environment, it ends up down the line affecting us. With it affecting our sleep and hormones and our mental health, that's huge. That is huge. Our bodies are biologically programmed to respond to natural cycles of light and dark. When those cycles are disrupted by 24/7 illumination, our circadian rhythm, our body's internal clock, gets us all out of sync. And you might find it harder to sleep, stay asleep, or even feel rested. And look, I have insomnia. Like, I'm right there with you. And that's so unnecessary. Dealing with all of these temporary fixes have become almost automatic for so many of us. We treat the symptom, not the source. I'm not knocking blackout curtains. I have them. Frankly, I try to find completely 100% linen. It's labeled as 100% linen. I get it. It's polyester. Oh my God. I was pissed. I was so mad because that's just plastic. Like, you're just creating more plastic. I use them because it's the only thing I can do to prevent light from coming in, and it still does. But they're not a sustainable solution. We deserve better than having to fortify our homes just to sleep well at night. So what's the actual shift here? What can we do, not just as individuals, but as neighbors, as communities, to feel safe, well-rested? One, shielded, downward-facing outdoor lighting, and it's like these coned lights that prevents the light from going everywhere. So it is isolated and therefore more concentrated in the area where we need to see. Sometimes I've seen it on interstates, on back roads, and it's fantastic. But unfortunately, most street and commercial lights blast in every direction, and that includes our bedrooms, and because they're not shielded. So simply switching to shielded fixtures that direct the light downwards drastically reduces light scatter and sky glow. Then we'll be able to see that beautiful star-driven sky. Like, How many of you have looked at the night sky and seen a vast amount of stars and just feel stillness, like pure stillness? You're just amazed how beautiful it is. I love that feeling. I love it. I see shooting stars, the various constellations, like it's a part of me. It is an activity I love. It's a core memory. And there's something so sacred about rewilding the night. And it's a reconnection we all need, especially in a world that's constantly on. The fact that we can't see any stars most of the time because of all the lights sucks. Like, that sucks. It's a simple way that I can provide myself dopamine, stress relief, and it's taken away from me. And I didn't have that choice. I didn't be a part of that decision. We deserve better than that. And these outdoor downward lighting still provides safety, visibility, without causing negative effects to everyone and polluting the night sky. Here's another one, motion activated lights. This is a big one for homes and businesses. Lights that activate only when needed reduce your expenses for your electricity bill. And nature's free garbage workers keep our streets clean. If you're like my previous roommate, love her. She is deeply afraid of possums. They're scary looking. I'm not going to judge her for that. Everyone has their thing. That's her thing. However, if you don't like them, if you think they're ugly, if you don't care for them, just leave them be. We feel that same way about many people. Just pests, okay? You can't tell me you don't feel that way about people. We see them the exact same way we see these critters, and we deal with them by not being around them, just letting them be, right? Many nocturnal animals, raccoons, possums, have the sweetest hearts by being around at nighttime when no one's awake. The blinding light prevents them from being able to see, and then they get killed. Period. They wouldn't be getting in our trash if we stopped taking away a bunch of natural food, like weeds, bugs, and everything else that they take care of, like benefits us. Natural predators, let them do what they do best. So we're like investing in these things that have huge wins for us twice. 2 wins. 2 wins. How many of you want to win more? We need to win more, people. I, at nighttime, changed the lighting on our TV to be the movie mode because it's dimming light. Like, it's very, very dim. And then there are nights after 8 p.m., no overhead lights. Just last night, actually, with one of our lights in our house, it was like super bright. I don't like overhead lights because, one, it's not comforting. It feels like you're being visually assaulted, to be honest. That's dramatic, and I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna just speak my truth. But the other night, there was one of our lights. I'm like, we really need to get a warmer light for that because it's just too bright. Like, it's just too much. I can't. And that actually benefits us. That small switch to a warmer light proves to be far better down the line for our expenses, even if it's something so small, like a single light. And our health, being able to transition from daytime going into nighttime mode. No matter what time you go to bed, you could go to bed and be a night owl, right? You're still having that smooth transition because our bodies need that smooth transition. That's how we are able to produce melatonin, and we won't need to take those melatonin gummies. Talking to your HOA, your landlord, your township, this part matters. Start conversations. Ask your township or city council if they are aware of IDA standards, the International Dark Sky Association, which has tons of resources on responsible lighting. Request audits of public lighting and encourage updates to fixtures in parks, school lots, and neighborhoods. And you might think you have no say in it, but no one is doing it, and therefore it's not seeming to be an issue of concern. It doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to push. You guys are the reason I have felt so confident to create and send in a policy proposal to Governor Gretchen Whitmer. And I am so confident because of the support that you guys provide and how many people provide hope that change can happen. You don't realize how much impact you have as an individual to make a change. And that's why we have these town councils, these state governors, we have senates, representatives, congressmen, all these people involved because they bring diversity for your voice to be heard, and many people may feel the same way, and it's just never been brought to attention. And you may be like, yes, everyone's doing it. How has it not been brought to attention? Again, don't knock it till you try it. It might seem small, but a handful of people speaking up often becomes a movement. So yes, while blackout curtains help, true healing means changing the system, not just building a shield. And this isn't about living in darkness. It's about being thoughtful with our light, honoring natural honoring natural rhythms, letting the earth rest, just like we're learning to rest ourselves. These choices might feel small, but they stack up. And when you choose to care to shift just one habit at a time, you are already making a difference, and you're providing a beneficial a beneficial impact for your future self. Like, you really are caring for your future self. So just sit on that, marinate in that, if you will. Same with water. The runoff from our homes, those fertilizers, those soaps, those car wash chemicals, all of it impacts groundwater in nearby ecosystems, which in turn gets circulated back to us. And that's why no one wants to drink tap water. Not only that, but because of the chemical treatment facilities and plastic pollution corporations and all of these things that have these quote-unquote water treatment facilities that we have briefly touched on in the previous episode. That's what contributes to the chlorinated and fluoride-driven water in our tap water. It infects us, and a lot of people prefer bottled water over that. And that's the importance of caring for your ecosystem. So if you've ever wondered whether those natural cleaning products or eco-friendly car wash hacks actually matter, yes, they absolutely do. Water protection, it's continuously a focal point of environmental protection, and for good reason. Our dependence on bottled water, the waste of water in poorly designed landscapes, and polluted waterways are all connected to our daily choices. Which, by the way, the companies that sell bottled water, they don't make this water, right? They outsource it, and they take it from springs and rivers and areas where natural water is so pure and filled with all of the minerals that we need to absorb nutrients from our food, right? We talked about this in the last episode. This is naturally sourced, and then they produce or outsource. I don't really know too much because it depends on the company, right? But they either produce the plastic water bottles themselves or outsource this from another company, and they'll produce the plastic water bottles or plastic nurdles is what they call it, and it's just like these small plastic pellets. They will mold it into a plastic water bottle. One of these quotes that really impacted me was from Tanya Streeter, and she said, "How can something be labeled disposable when it is made out of indestructible material?" So something that never breaks down, but breaks apart into smaller pieces. And then it's what we know as microplastics. From the Plastic Ocean documentary, they stated that 63 billion gallons of oil are used every year to supply just the US with plastic water bottles. And more than 90% of these water bottles are used only once. And almost every piece of plastic to have ever been made is still on the earth in some form or shape. Jaw-dropping. Like, I was in shock. And not only that, but here's a more personal perspective, right? Something that actually touches close to home. FDA regulations of over 90% of these BPA plastics nonetheless release chemicals having estrogenic activity, which prevents people from conceiving, prevents you from regulating your hormones properly, prevents you from being able to digest protein, the way your cells regenerate, everything, right? This is all affected by plastics that are not regulated, regardless of being BPA free, and are still on this planet one way or another. And 90% are only used one time. 63 billion gallons of oil that we pay for one way or another, or have to source and deal with it, right? Like, we have to put all this work into sourcing 63 billion gallons of oil every year just to supply the US for plastic bottles. Like, the whole concept is crazy because the biggest manufacturers of plastic bottles are soda companies like Coca-Cola. when they ultimately have glass bottles. And those are always so much better anyways. Now, here's the concept I want you to take away. So whether it's something about environmental impact, about the oil, whether it's an economic impact about how oil prices are always insane, we're always going to be reliant on these oils, or if it's something home, personal, where it deals with your health in the fact that we have microplastics in these water bottles found in the water. We have microplastics from these water bottles, and more than half the time, we're under the notion that this was all safe if it was BPA free, but that doesn't mean anything. It still harms us. Take into consideration every time you reach for a plastic bottle, whether it's soda or it's some event, whether it's a soccer game or going up north or whatever it is where it requires you to get a bulk pack of water bottles. Think about the things that you are contributing to and how it actually impacts each individual's health that you give that to. So instead of freaking out and being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to get this, but that stresses me out that I know this now and they're all drinking it. No, just encourage people to bring their own reusable water bottle because we obviously had a huge trend on it. So we can encourage the use of reusable water bottles. We can encourage the use of getting a Brita water filter for the home or an whole house water filter or whatever it is. There are options. That's what I want to leave you guys with. There are other options that we can do to make a sustainable impact that also benefits our health and well-being and the environment at the same time. So let's expand on this. Not just bottles, but what about plastic bags? Plastic bags, something so many people still use regularly. Yeah, it's not that hard to say without realizing the weight of their actions. And I get it. Some people still believe they, as individuals, have no impact on the planet, but these people might be you. Who knows? You still order from Shein or Temu. You still grab plastic bags at every store, grocery shopping, picking up your dog's meds, grabbing takeout, whatever it is, right? It adds up. So here's my challenge. For 1 week, just 7 days, count every plastic bag you walk away with. If you put your vegetables in plastic produce bags, count them. If your groceries go into plastic at checkout, add that to the list. If you're picking up meds, take out another one. At the end of the week, I want every single person listening to share their total. How many plastic bags did you use in just 1 week? Why? Because too many people say, oh, I don't make an impact, but you do. We all do. That's the point. We're part of this destruction through convenience. So when we could so easily carry a reusable bag or simply tell the cashier or server, no bag, I'm good, and carry things out by hand or our purse, we don't. And it's because it's not in the forefront of our mind and it's not a normal habit. For me personally, I always carry a travel bag. I hardly ever need a plastic one. At this point, I'd say 99% of the time I walk away without one. And when I do end up with one, I do feel a little guilty, but I also recognize how far I've come. And I keep trying harder to break the norm. And you guys, resources are not infinite. I've seen firsthand the devastating effects plastic bags have on animals and the environment. It's heartbreaking to see how individuals, whether small or not, contribute to this same concept of plastic bag use for 12 minutes. That is a statistic, if I didn't mention it. I typically do that. That's funny. So there's a statistic that the average consumer uses a plastic bag for a total of 12 minutes. And a plastic bag takes over 200 years to break down. 200. And when it breaks down, it's not breaking down in decomposing. It's breaking into microplastics. Okay? So I'm asking you, take this challenge. See your own impact. Identify the fact that we don't need produce bags for every vegetable that we get at the grocery store. I've had times where people are like, well, I don't want it to get gross. You guys, they're picked. How many hands have touched them? Who knows when they wash their hands? If it's from outside, we wash them anyways before we eat it. We do not need plastic bags to cover our produce. And in fact, I am so disappointed at Trader Joe's because they wrap every organic vegetable and fruit in plastic. It's insane, and I'm boycotting them. So I suggest you do too. And this isn't slander. It's the fact that I'm taking a stand for something that I do not want to take part in. It's something that hits me so deeply because I've seen it firsthand. I told you guys this. We've had so many encounters traveling around the world where it's devastating how turtles, sea turtles, think that these floating plastic bags are jellyfish and they will eat them. They'll munch on them slowly, not knowing that it's plastic. And then it wraps around their esophagus, it wraps around their gut, their intestines, and they die. You have whales that filter feed. So they open up their mouth, they suck all these, hopefully, krill, kelp, organisms, phytoplankton, all these things, right? And these whales are washing up on shore because they're taking in all of this plastic. And majority is plastic bags, straws. 9 times out of 10, it's the lighters that we throw away. And it's heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. So you may not see it in your day-to-day life and you may not feel as personally impacted. And I get that. But by doing this challenge, by taking part in this, sorry, my dogs are just individuals here living life. By taking this challenge and posting on your story how much you've contributed is not a sign of guilt. It's not showing a negative thing. It's showing an awareness. It's like, wow, I really do contribute to this destruction, this destructive habit out of convenience. When I can stop doing that, I can pivot, I can find other ways, I can stop getting bulk plastic water bottles, and I can bring my own reusable water bottle. I can do things that lessen my impact on the planet. And I can share that with other people, right? So you have the power to inspire change, to create change, to be a part of change. Now, look, let's talk about straws for a second. I feel like we're on this path, right? We got to just continue with it. I get it. Paper straws suck sometimes, but here's a real kicker. When they first came out, many were intentionally designed to fail so that people would hate them and go right back to the plastic straws they know and love. That's how deep and corrupt and manipulative the plastic industry can be, because it's money, right? When you talk about money, they will figure out any way to keep their industry up and going. And I do everything I can to avoid plastic straws. Does that shock you? Probably not. If I get coffee and I don't have my reusable coffee cup on hand because I can't be a woman carrying a million things all the time, I'll tell them, no straw. If I'm out to eat, I let the server know right away, no straws at the table, please. My friends and I will use our own water bottles, we'll use our own reusable stainless steel straws, like whatever it is, we try to contribute less to something that we do not support and that we know has a negative impact, like we talked about. So even at work, when I'm at my serving job and I serve, I don't offer individuals straws with every drink they get unless they specifically ask. And guess what? 6 out of 10 people don't ask. That's 6 plastic straws that weren't used at each table, or however you want to pivot that. That's 6 less plastic straws used. That's 6 less plastic straws in the environment. Yes, there may be 6 plastic straws used at another table, but at least I'm not contributing that just because I'm assuming that they want it. And is it a big thing? Maybe not. It might feel small and insignificant at first, but if that's, like I said, one less straw polluting our ocean, one less piece of plastic on our land, then to me, it's worth it. Same with picking up trash. If I see a bag blowing in a parking lot, I go after it. And I may look ridiculous running after a plastic bag in the wind, but honestly, I feel so powerful. It's like this badge of honor to take care of our land, to take care of our home. I was walking outside of my hotel, leaving after work, and there is plastic, there's trash, all mowed over on their lawn, and I'm picking it up. Why? Because this is my home. It may not physically be the location that I'm always at, but Earth is our home. It doesn't have to be somewhere that I pay like rent to live at. It doesn't have to be somewhere that I'm majority of the time at. It was in a completely different state, but it's our home. And I take pride in knowing that this much trash that I picked up is not available for wildlife destruction, and it's not available to just be there and broken up again when they mow over it again. So it makes me feel really good. And sometimes if it's a plastic bag, I'll keep them and then bring them to the store because they will repurpose them. Do you know how many times I've seen leftover food containers just tossed in the parking lots? Like, people are too lazy to wait till they get home or walk 10 feet to a trash can. But soap exists. I'll sanitize my hands. It doesn't need to end up in a tree or an animal's gut. When I was fostering dogs in the apartments in college, there were chicken bones left out everywhere. And I was so happy that I noticed that she got one. Like, we were just walking, and out of nowhere I saw like she was chewing on something. I immediately had to like go and put my hand in basically her throat and like grab it out because it could kill her. She could choke on that, right? Like, doing that damage because you could care less about putting your garbage, your own garbage, in your car or in a trash can that's 10 feet away is heartbreaking. And so many people walk past trash thinking, it's not mine, that's gross, I'm not putting that in my car. Like, when did we become too good to care about our own planet? When we're the ones destroying it? If I can help every time I walk my dogs and know that how many times, regardless, I've cleaned this area, there will always be more trash, that's fine. I'll bring more bags to grab the trash and I'll wash my hands after. It's not the end of the world to try to do some good. And honestly, it makes you feel better afterwards. It's not something to gloat around, but it's also kind of nice to share with people that like, hey, I contributed something meaningful to this world. I left my footprint on this world. Many people may not know, many people may not care, but if I can help by preventing one more straw, one more bag, one more piece of garbage from ending up in the ocean, ending up in our waterways, or choking wildlife, then I will every single time, because that is impact. Saying no to one plastic bag, picking up that piece of trash, bringing your own water bottle or straw, that is impact. So let's keep doing the small things that add up to something much, much bigger. Next month, we'll be chatting with Tony Shalaski about canine nutrition and how we're often misled about what helps our pets live longer, healthier lives. Oftentimes, we are actually over-vaccinating, over-medicating, and doing the things that end up being way more expensive but unnecessary. As always, I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you all. I love seeing your stories as each of you tune into the episodes. Continue to tag us at The Happily Living. Don't forget to leave a review if you haven't already. These are done on Apple. Spotify can do the stars, but a review would be so, so beneficial. And please share this episode with someone you think it'll resonate with, or any episode for that matter that you think could make an impact on them. Let's leave a better trace on this planet with love and light.